Okay guys, so this video is going to be about the ProBro RC bodyboarder no electrics. There's a good couple of reasons why we are supplying the ProBro RC bodyboarder no electrics, and I think the top of the list is simply going to be so that the client can save on the actual cost of the board overall, or the client can have the choice of their preferential equipment inside the board. So what we've done in preparation for that is to prepare the board as much and as best as we can, so that the process of equipping the board with your own electrics goes that much easier. And you can see from the outside here, everything is already fitted. We've got our this is what you call your pivot stem for your bro board, your locating pins in the front, your antennas there, the rudders completely there, hatch covers fitted. If I just flip the board over, you can see you have your rudders all installed, drive shafts installed, water pickups are all installed, and if we just open up, okay, the seal for your hatch cover is already fitted. If we take a look inside here, you can see the board is completely prepared for the installation. The servo cutout is installed. That's for a standard size servo. Your screws are there for that. Your motor mount plate, your battery platform is here. The drive shafts installed. We even have the water cooling pipes there ready for you. So really, in all honesty, this should be a 45-minute leisurely experience and your board should be ready to go. What you're going to need is your motor. You can use the motor mount is designed around the 36mm diameter motor, your water jacket. So in this case we run the 3660 size motor. This is a standard size servo, but you can see we prefer the all metal gears. They're just a little bit tougher for the steering. ESC, I've tested between a 90 and 120, all seem to work well. This is the Sea King. You also get the Turnigy, much the same waterproof ESC. You need an ESC, and then you have your pistol grip radio, or whatever your preference of radio is. We recommend the pistol grip radio 2.4 gig, just so that you don't have problems with people interfering with your frequency. And this is your little receiver. So the savings for this experience could be as much as $100 all said and done. So we retail a board for $550. Obviously, when we ship all these products in from overseas, it costs us money, and then it also costs more for us to send it over to you, because when the board is completely built with all this equipment on board, it's literally a kilogram heavy, and that kilogram costs in postage. So if the board's lighter, it costs less. A ready to surf board costs about $100 to ship globally. A no electrics board costs $75, so it's already a $25 savings. And then if you go out and you purchase all this equipment yourself, or maybe some of you even have it yourself, there's the savings in that. So I've kind of worked it out that if you had to order these components online, I think I've shared it in one of my Facebook pages or posts, yeah, you could save yourself $75, and that, including your postage, is $100. So that brings the price of the board down from $550 to $450, which is quite a big savings, respectfully. But let me show you how easy it is to install these components. I've actually, in my mind, I've kind of decided that this type of board should be okay for a kid from about the age of 12 to surf upwards. And so I decided, let me try and build this board so that a kid of 12 with some guidance could quite easily assemble the board and maintain it and enjoy it. So let's see if you'll agree. Right, even for the installation, you don't need much. You need a couple of spanners. There's a 7, 9 and a 10 mil. 7 mils for the rudder setting, and the 9 and 10 are for the motor collet. You need a small stubby star screwdriver to install the servo. There's 2 Allen keys, a 3 mil and a 2.5. That's for the motor mounts. I even supply the little Allen bolts for the motor, and little scissors or a Stanley cutter to trim the silicon tubing. Let's get going. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is to install the motor and connect it to the drive shaft. I'm just going to move our silicon tubes out the way here. What we supply with the motor mount is this little component over here. This is called the battery mount, or the battery platform, and the battery actually rests on top of this when it's lying in location over here. So the first thing we're going to do is just nip back on these Allen on the side there with a 3mm Allen. Just loosen it up. It's just secured there so that it doesn't rattle around when it's been shipped. It pops out quite easily, and this is our aluminium motor mount. It's got slots on the side over here where it drops into these Allen bolts, and then this is our battery platform that fits on the front over here, and that forms the complete unit to install the actual motor. So we depending on the motor you use, your motor is going to have a drive shaft of its own. You have to get a collet that's going to match that drive shaft size. In this case, this is a 5mm and down to a 4mm. The drive shaft on the board itself is a 4mm, so you need to get a stainless steel collet that's going to be able to fit onto your motor's drive shaft and then onto a 4mm drive shaft in the board. Okay, in this case this is called a 5mm motor, 4mm drive shaft. Pop the collet on, don't push it on too far, and then the first thing we're going to do is just mount. We just put our battery, we're going to put our battery platform on the motor. There we have our battery platform mounted onto our motor. What I'm going to do now, we're going to slide the motor into these slots. We're going to slide it all the way down to the bottom. Make sure the motor goes all the way down to the bottom as far as the Allens allow it to go, and then we're going to tighten that up. Give that a fasten up. Okay, so there you have it. You can see motor's nicely mounted, very easily mounted into the mounting bracket with the platform there, and it's ready to go into the board now. When we drop it in the board, we're just going to retract. Don't retract it too far. We're just going to retract the drive shaft back. See, I've moved it out of the way, and we are going to slip these slotted sides. We're going to slip them over these Allen studs that are in the side of the housing here. Just make sure your washers come forward. Okay. There we go. It's comfortably in there. Okay, so we have that in position. Now what we're going to do, we're going to slide the drive shaft into the collet to align the motor. So you can see I'm just lifting the motor up, sliding it right in. There we go, the drive shaft's in. Just turn it a few times. Make sure it's all traveling or turning nicely. Okay, so even your drive shaft, when we send the board to you, is already greased, so you don't have to worry about greasing up your drive shaft for the first installation. We've now got the drive shaft penetrating the coupling. Got it lightly nipped up. And now what we can do is just make sure that on either side here, your mounting plates are level. And with a 3mm, you can just go in and just slowly, equally, on both sides, just nip up these Allens nicely. See there? Okay. And that's literally your motor now already installed. nice and secure. We'll tighten up the collet later on. I just want to show you quickly, while we're doing this, how easy it is to remove this motor. If ever you want to remove the motor, you can leave your mounting setup at that angle so that that's not going to change. And again, all you got to do is just loosen up your drive shaft, retract your drive shaft, use your 2.5mm Allen, and only got to snap back. Just snap back. Hope my head's not getting in the way of my ball patch. You only got to snap back on these little Allens here, and you can see you can lift the motor out. Voila. Okay, motor comes out very easily. Just get the focus there. There your motor's out. Okay, and you can either clean your motor off, you can give it a blowout, you can put a little bit of oil in your bearings, blah blah blah. Okay, and then if you want to put it back in again and it's going to be in the perfect place, all you got to do is just drop it in, push it down so that it goes right down to the bottom of those slots again. You can slide your drive shaft in, and then you just nip up on these Allens again, and that's your motor installed. Awesome. Just make sure you give them a good nip, and that's that done. So that's your motor installed. Okay, on this side over here we already have the water cooling pipe. The length is worked out. The exit pipe, we've already got that installed, so you can go ahead and just connect that to your output of your water jacket. So that's connected, that's done. Now what we're going to do before we install the ESC, we are going to install the servo, the steering servo. So you can see over here we've already installed the servo steering control arm. That's already installed. It's all connected, so that's all functioning already. On the end over here, you can see we've already got the Z bent all to the exact length that's required to fit onto the steering horn. So we can just keep that aside at the moment. We're going to just remove these two stainless steel self tappers. These you need a little star screwdriver for. You can see on the side over there we've already got a slot that's been machined out so that you can fit the servo in perfectly. What I like to recommend when you're installing a servo is to put a small O-ring around the servo's horn and put a little bit of grease or Vaseline there. I'll do that just now when I fit the servo and I'll put the Vaseline, but what that does is it doesn't make this entire servo waterproof, but it definitely makes it more water resistant to a little bit of water or moisture precipitation that could come into the housing. We just put our cable through here. Okay, so with our servo horn facing forward, we just drop the servo into its slot and pop the screws in. Holes are already drilled, so it's really just a case of you holding the servo in place. Right. There we have the servo mounted nicely. And now with your little servo horn, all you do is, okay, so you got your Z there, just pop your servo arm over there, down, pops on to the servo. Okay, and there you have your servo connected to your rudder. I'm not going to put the servo screw in right now because when we connect our little receiver, we're going to make sure that our servo is properly centered, and then we will set that up and adjust that properly. But that's that done for now. Now we're going to go back, and the final installation of the actual electric components bar the receiver is going to be the ESC. You can just tuck this wire behind the water cooling pipe, get that out the way. There we go. Right, so in this case we're using the Sea King, also commonly known as the Turnigi ESC that pops in over here. Just fits there. Okay. Just get our BEC wire through, get that tucked in the side. Get our wires through here. Connect those to the motor for now. Tucked away nicely. Right. Just cut our silicon wire. Get that on. Right. There's a little hole there in the plate for that. Connect our water cooling pipe from the ESC to the motor. Voila! And that's the ESC installed. So now all we have left to do is to take our little receiver, plug that in, and effectively we've got all our equipment installed into our board. So once you've got all your electric components in, you've got your receiver connected here, you've got your radio set up, and you've zeroed your servo. You made sure that the steering adjuster is on center. You come back here, you see, oh, okay, you can see over here the rudder is actually skew. What we're going to do now, you're going to turn your rudder straight. Okay, just with the use of a 7-spanner, hold your rudder straight, just put your thumb on the end, and you just tighten up. You tighten up the nylock on the top. And that's your rudder assembly, nice and centered. Okay, if ever your rudder alignment is out to your servo being zeroed, you just loosen up this nylock over here, set it straight, and tighten it up again. Just hold the end of this rudder on, and that'll be quite easy to do. Just a quick note for those of you, always make sure that when you've assembled the board and you test your motor, that it's actually rotating anti-clockwise. Okay, that's the rotation of the prop, and if it is going in the opposite direction, there's no need to panic. You'll see over here your 3 wires that come through from the ESC to the motor. All you got to do is just switch 2 of those wires. So take the blue wire, put it connected to that one, take the yellow wire connected to that one, and your rotation direction will change, and you'll be cool and ready to go. So that's it. Once you've tested everything, it's really going to be a case of wrapping your receiver into a balloon, as I've shown you in the maintenance video. Stick your antenna wire up through your antenna, and voila, that's it. And I'm not quite sure now how long this all took, but I reckon we'll have a look at the overall video and see, but I can't see it having taken more than a half an hour of your time to save yourself $100. It's not a bad deal, eh? So if you've got any further questions, feel free to email Dominic@brorcsurfer.com, and I'm always around to help you share the stoke and get your board in the water. Lekker.